question is this? I want to know who made this, and I got questions for their questions. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allison if you are new here, and today we are diving into the Milso Tag. I think that's the name of it. Someone in the comments requested that I do this video, and so I looked it up on YouTube and found like maybe a dozen or so videos of other military wives who have done this video, and it's just a series of questions kind of like explaining your relationship with your husband and like just talking about military life. Exactly what it sounds like, military spouse tag. Oh, and if you don't know what Milso is, it's military significant other, I think. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but I'm like 75% sure. I hopped on one of the videos and then just grabbed all of the questions. I think there's 25 of them, and a lot of them are kind of, it sounds terrible, a lot of them are kind of stupid. I think one of them was like, does your significant other look good in their uniform? Stuff like that, I'm not gonna spend too much time on. Some of the other ones that are more interesting, I will definitely dive into. I have a cup of tea, I am ready to be chatty, I am ready for the day, so let's get started. Okay, the questions are on a screenshot on my phone, so if I'm referencing it, that's what's going on. So the first question is, how did you and your spouse meet? So Christian and I did not go to the same college, we're not even from the same state. We met actually through a college study abroad program, so we both spent 4 months a couple years ago doing a semester of college in Vienna, Austria. So we spent 4 months in Europe, and our friend group kind of overlapped, so that's how we met. 2, how old are you when you met? I think I was 20. How old was I? I know I wasn't old enough to drink. I must have been 20, and I think Christian was a year or two younger than me at that point. No, he would have been 1 year younger, so he would have been 19. So 19 and 20. 3, how long have you been together? We didn't officially start dating until we got back into America for a couple months, so I think our official like dating anniversary is sometime in February of 2018. So we've been together, like, dating a little over 2 years, and we've been married for just over 6 months now. We are newlyweds. 4, where are you and your spouse originally from? So like I said, we are not from the same place. We met just happenstance doing this study abroad program. I am from South Florida, and Christian is from North Carolina. 5, how did you feel about him joining the military? So Christian had already like begun the process of joining the military. He had done like a portion of his training already during one summer when I had met him. So he was like already like kind of signed up and like ready to do this. So like it wasn't a matter of like him deciding that he wanted to do this and like us coming to that decision together. He had kind of already decided that before we even met. So like for me, it was always just like a fact. So I guess to answer that question, I don't know, it was obviously different. I have no family members in the military. It's kind of like far away from my train of thought or the people that I was around. But I don't know, it didn't bother me. It obviously worked out for us. Number 6, where did your spouse go to basic training? I guess I should have said this. My husband's in the Marine Corps, so preface all of those prior questions with he's in the Marine Corps. What was the question? Where did he go to basic training? Quantico, Virginia. 7, has your spouse ever been deployed? No, he has not. Thankfully, that will come some point in the future, and I don't want to think about it, so we're gonna just move on to the next one. 8, ever been to his promotion ceremony? He's actually never been promoted. We are very young, and he is very new to the military, and he has not been promoted yet. I did go to his commissioning ceremony though, but funny story, so his whole family was there for the commissioning ceremony, and I was there too. And I have some prior experience with photography. If you scroll far enough back on my Instagram page, it's linked down below, you'll see that I did sports photography for my university, so you can see some of that there. But I was actually the designated photographer of his commissioning ceremony, and he had his parents actually pin the, pin his bars. That's what it's called. So I didn't actually pin his bars, even though we were engaged at that time. But I think the train of thought was that like I will be the one to do any pinning at future ceremonies. So I got to be the photographer and have that memory saved. And I have the really cute picture of his parents pinning the bars on him. But so no promotion ceremonies, but I did the commissioning ceremony. I don't know if that counts. 9, how long have you been a military wife? I have been a military wife the entire length of our marriage, which is like just over 6 months now. Funny story, if you haven't seen any of my other videos, I will link a military wife playlist down below if you want to catch up on other videos that I put out about this topic. But our honeymoon actually changed from a like tropical vacation to us moving to our first duty station together. So like our marriage started off with a bang of being all about the military. I guess I kind of already answered number 10, but did you marry him before or after he joined? I don't know how to answer this question. He had already kind of started the process. Like I said, he had finished a portion of his basic training kind of before I even met him. And then he had another small session, another summer in between college semesters. And then we got married in between that training session and the current training session. So he was like kind of signed up for it, but he's like still in training. I guess technically I married him after he joined because he had started training already, but we weren't given a full like duty station at that time. Number 11, how did your husband propose? So like I mentioned, I was super into photography. So of course for college, I wanted graduation photos. That's like a big thing at my school that you like get your cap, get dressed up and you go to like the football stadium and you take a ton of photos there, either with your roommates or your boyfriend. And I had just brought my camera and set up a tripod and was gonna just make it work at the football stadium one morning. So we got there super early. We were both dressed up and and we were doing our little photo shoot, and I could tell like towards the end he was getting kind of antsy and like a little bit, I don't know, he's a good sport when I wanted to take photos. He's like not like ever like rushing me to like get it over with, but like I don't know, something was a little off today, and I was like, you know what, maybe he's just like fed up with the photos, like let's just like wrap this up and like get going, like we probably have a good shot. I think it ended up being like we were too close to the road and there were just like too many people walking by, and we're not like the kind of people that want this to be like super public and have like a big reaction from a crowd of people around us. We wanted it to be kind of private. So he walked me over to this like really awkward part of the football stadium, and I was very confused because he's like, let's get some pictures here, because now he was suddenly really into getting these photos done. And I was like, sure, whatever, I don't really care for this photo spot, but if you want to, we'll do this. And then we took a couple photos there, and then I was packing up the camera. He apparently was taking the ring box out of his socks and moving it into his pocket. And then after I packed up all of the camera gear and the tripod and stuff, he pulled me aside and proposed to me, which was super sweet. I was super in shock. I honestly don't remember what he said. I kind of blacked out. In his trunk had packed a picnic because we were long distance for most of our relationship, so he had driven down to be able to do these photos with me. And so before he left, he packed a picnic and a cooler with like orange juice and chocolate covered strawberries and muffins and just like a cute little brunch picnic. And he had picked out a park for us to go to after this. So we got home, we changed out of our really nice clothes, went on this beautiful walk in this park and had a little like brunch ceremony and called our parents. And then this is terrible of me to say, I don't know why my mind went here, but I was like, this is so perfect. Like, oh, I wish we could just go to Disney World. That would be like the icing on the cake. And I think I spoiled his surprise because he looked at me and goes, well, we're going. So he had lined up us to go to Disney after the proposal because he knew how special Disney is. So then I started crying. And then he said, well, I have one more thing to tell you. Like, I don't know if you're ready for this yet. And he had my parents travel all the way to Orlando to meet us there for the meal. And then we get to the meal in Orlando, and I'm like crying and sobbing a mess at this point. And he had actually had his parents fly down from North Carolina to Florida to join us for this meal. So this is the first time our parents had ever met, and we had been like with everybody in my favorite place. We had just been engaged, like it was this whole thing, but he did really good. He did really, really good. That was also a very rambly answer. Props to you if you stuck through it. Number 12, where did you get married? So I am from Florida, and we got married in my hometown in South Florida. How old were you two when you got married? I was 22 and he was 21. I am a cougar. 14, did he wear his uniform the day of your wedding? Yes, he did. Number 15, where are you and your spouse currently stationed? We are currently in Virginia, and at some point this year, depending on how the coronavirus travel ban works out, if you don't know right now, there is a military ban on like people traveling and moving right now. They're obviously trying to help and slow the spread of people like having to move for their jobs, so we're kind of on pause a little bit. So hopefully sometime this fall we will be moving to California, which we are very excited about. Okay, I am talking so much. We need some tea. Okay. We can keep going now. 16, do you live on base? We do not. We are in an off-base apartment and we love it here. Oh gosh, I cut off the answer to number 17. We have to go find this now. Milso Tag. 17, how long were you married when you had to go through your first separation? So Christian and I were long distance up until we got married. After study abroad, we got to spend that time together, but we weren't dating then. But then when we went home, he went to North Carolina, I went to Florida. We were both still in college, so we finished out our degrees, and then he actually started working in South Carolina for a little bit, so we were a little bit closer, but we've always been like 8 to 12 hours apart from each other, and at the shortest distance, we were a 5-hour drive apart from each other, so we've been doing the long distance thing for a while before the military made us do long distance, so we have actually spent the most time together since he's been in the military. I guess after we got married and reasons for the military to keep us separated, he's had a couple like week-long trips that he's been going out to. Before we got married, one of his basic trainings, or one of his like training sessions is 6 weeks long, and I don't get to see him for those first 6 weeks, and he doesn't get to call anybody or contact anybody for the first 3 weeks. So we spent 3 weeks not contacting each other, so that was before we were married. So there's a couple different areas in there. We haven't had a deployment, which was like the big kahuna of like not seeing each other. 18, what is your favorite base so far? So I've only been on the base that we are at currently, and then I think we went to Lejeune in North Carolina once to get a uniform figured out for the wedding. I don't have a lot of bases to compare it to. Can I cheat and say that I think our favorite base is going to be the base that we are going to be moving to? If you want to see more, I have a whole video about finding out what base we're going to be moving to next. I will link that for you guys to watch if you want to see more about it, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be our favorite base. See, this number 19 is the question I was talking about. Do you think your spouse looks good in his uniform? Like that's a weird question. Yes. Moving on. So we are almost done. We have 6 questions left, 20 through 25, and then we're going to wrap this video up. Number 20, do you think military life is more advanced than civilian life? I have no idea what this question means. Like advanced, like better? Or I don't know what this means. I will say the biggest difference between military life and civilian life is that there's a big difference between like the rank and the hierarchy, which I find super weird. I still have not wrapped my head around the concept that there are people who are like ranked higher than you, and like so you have more respect for them because they've been in longer, or like differences between like, I don't know. Something about that is just very weird to me. That's like the main difference between military life and civilian life. Also that like the military life, like someone else can just tell you, hey, you're sleeping outside for the next 2 weeks and you just have to go do it. Civilian life doesn't happen. But I don't know. I don't know what that question's asking really. I hope that was an adequate answer. 21, do you like the benefits you receive as a military dependent? Another awkward question. Yeah. If you've seen my What to Expect as a Marine Corps Wife video, I talked more about this, but I basically quit my career to be able to be married to Christian and be able to spend time with him and live with him here. So it is very helpful that we have the benefits such as our housing allowance and healthcare provided to me. I don't know what we would be doing if that wasn't provided to me, because I did have to kind of give up my own version of that to be able to pick up my life and move it every couple of years whenever the government tells us to. I also really like the benefit that Disney World tickets are a lot cheaper. So big benefit right there. 22, do you have a lot of military wife friends? I would say that the people who are in my comment section are better military wife friends than I have like actually in real life. I have one really good military wife friend. She actually lives right across the street from us. Shout out to Meg if you were watching this far into the video. But besides that, I've met a handful of people that are just not my cup of tea. Like I said, I talked more about this in my What to Expect as a Marine Corps Wife video. Some of these girls are not my cup of tea, but that's just like life. So I have one really good friend in person, and then there's like a great group of girls down in the comments who are always like sharing advice or asking questions of other people or asking like what my opinions are on certain things. 23, what is the hardest part of military life? Number one is obviously them just saying my husband needs to go sleep in the woods for 6 weeks, or he's gonna go off to training for a couple of weeks and I don't get to see him. Or honestly just like him being away and us not having a say in any of that and like not being able to see him. But the second part is probably the career aspect of it. If you are a military wife and you've been able to pursue your career fully, like the career that you originally envisioned for yourself having, I want to know your secrets and how you were doing it. In my like field that I was working in, I was in finance. There is just no plausible way for me to further my career while we're in the military and moving every couple of years. No one is going to hire you if you are going to be picking up and moving frequently. And at my last job, I really didn't have another choice but to quit my job once I revealed that like my husband's in the military, because they just understand that like, oh, so you're leaving here in a year and a half. Why are we going to pour our resources into you to make you the employee that we need you to be, that we want you to be here long term? I don't know. It's this whole thing. I struggle with that a lot, and I'm coming to terms with it and working around it and pursuing things like YouTube and a couple other avenues, and we will see what happens because we are at our next duty station for 3 years. So we will see what happens with that, but that's definitely the second hardest thing for me to wrap my head around. 24, do you own military wife stuff? No. 25, do you support your spouse as a member of the military? Like, what kind of question is this? I want to know who made this, and I got questions for their questions, because that's, what am I going to say? No, I don't support it. I don't think I would be married to him if I didn't support it. If you need to hear me verbally say that I support my husband being in the military to like know the answer to that question, like, I don't know what's going on in your world. But I will say it out loud. Yes, I do support my husband in the military. I think what he's doing is great. And I don't know what else to say about that besides being super cheesy and corny, which none of us are really looking for in these videos, I don't think. Okay, I have been rambling way too long about all of this stuff right now. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. If you guys enjoyed watching, like I said, I will have other videos linked down below in the description bar that are on the same topic. So if you want to hear more from me or more about our experiences or like what's going on in our lives right now, I will link those for you guys to catch up on down below. If you are thinking about becoming a military spouse, or you are dating somebody in the military, or you're a military spouse who's feeling a little lonely, like please reach out in the comment section. There are so many people. I am like honestly shocked by how many people in the comment section are reaching out and like introducing themselves and like sharing their struggles and sharing their questions and their experiences and offering me advice for all of this, because I am brand new to all of this. My favorite part of putting these videos out is definitely the comments that immediately come in from other people that are either frequent commenters or new commenters. So I really encourage you to get down in there and engage and ask questions, or just say, hi, I'm new here, or whatever you feel like doing. I love reading all of your comments down below. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. I post a lot about our home and doing things to our house and cleaning and organizing, and we will be moving pretty soon. So there's gonna be a whole new series of like new house stuff and moving videos and PCSing videos. And I also put up my fair share of military wife content because so far that's been very, very well received. These military wife videos aren't my like top performing videos, like metric wise, like they don't have the greatest amount of views or watch time or whatever, but they have the greatest amount of engagement. And I've already rambled enough about how great the comment section are, but I just think like that little community down there is just so awesome. So if you are down in the comment section regularly, thank you for watching, and I will be seeing you guys next time. Bye!